pillaging, Pete was arrested for storming the Bastille. Now imprisoned in the Conciergerie, he awaits his fate in the damp and lonely prison. From his airless, straw-embedded cell, Tyrone's and Pierrette's unison-haunting chant booms off of the gray walls. These bone-chillingly cold walls of concrete have seen their fair share of gloomy secrets. The conciergerie is dark save for light streaming through a cross-shaped window. Like an old cellar, the prison smells of a pig pen, decay, mold, and soiled straw. A massive medieval chain gate slowly clinks open. Distant, echoing, heavy footsteps grow louder as keys clink together. Enter two infantrymen, Dumb and Dumber, Robert and Stefan, to take Pete to the gallows. Their breath smells of mead. One guard unlocks Pete's cell. They escort a weak Pete to a nearby two-wheeled, dilapidated tumbrel cart. Robert, greedy goblin-like, barks "Floor" at the peasants to get down in front of the cart. Tyrone and Pierrette weakly walk over and kneel down, horse-like, before the cart. Stefan hands a toothbrush to Pierrette for her to polish his boots. Pierrette glares no at Stefan. Stefan cracks the whip. Robert laughs. The guards board Pete onto the tumbrel. They chain his hands behind his back. Then they strap the peasants to the tumbrel. From the driver's seat, Robert cracks the whip against the peasants' work-worn, bony backs. Some peasants rush into the prison and fight the guards. Gabriel attacks Robert. Hear bones crunch and wood splintering as he falls back against the cart. Stefan helps Robert to his feet. Enters Pete's sweet pea looking for Marie. During the riot, Marie unchains Pete and throws away his burdensome chains. In turn, Pete unstraps the tumbrel peasants. They stand up and brush each other off. Stefan strikes Marie across the face. She falls down. Rubbing her sore jaw, she looks painfully at Stefan. Francis helps her to stand. Having seen her fall, Simon tells Gabriel to go after Stefan. Like a bull after a red flag, Gabriel charges at Stefan. He blindsides him. Meanwhile, Francis sees Frankie. She slowly circles him. She looks at him up and down with elevator eyes. Pete sees Stefan falling towards Francis, his shiny sword aimed right at her. As Pete runs and pushes Francis out of harm's way, he trips over the chains. Stefan's sword pierces his heart. Pete roars. A circle of bubbling crimson stains his shirt. Francis and Simon rush to Pete. Cross-like, he falls back. They catch him. Francis and Simon help Pete stand. Passing her serene courage to him, Marie breathes deeply. Francis and Simon ease Pete to the ground. He dies in Francis's arms. Francis forlornly looks down at him. Meanwhile, Marie solemnly stands next to Francis. Francis signs to her mother. What just happened? Frankie screams bloody murder. Pete's spirit stands on a silver staircase. After the prison riot, Pete's ghost visited Marie in a dream. He tells her to consult the king at Versailles. Rallying the market women, she tells of this dream. Listening, they stand near a small, sturdy cannon. Like a crest of the sea breaking upon breast, beating a drum and hungry like the wolf, Marie leads the women from Paris to Versailles. The woods whisper as tree-branched shadows seductively dance beneath the feet of the women. A western wind sings a song of solace as they march through a forest fog. Above, rolling thunder crackles, and then white lightning strikes the sky. while rain falls. In the distance, wolves howl their war cries. After 11 miles, tired, the weary women arrive at the palace. Tyrone, with her furious fists, pounds on a golden door. A pompous servant stealthily opens slowly the door. He looks with haughty disdain at the peasants. Frankie dashes into the palace. The women tell the stuffy servant that they seek an audience with the king. They explain the dire taxing situation in Paris, and consequently, the peasants are famished. Looking down on the women as inferior, the close-minded servant tells them the king does not have the time to see them. After he tells the Flebans to go away, he slams the door in their faces. Marie's blood has reached boiling point. The women aim the cannon at the doors. Firing on Marie's command, they blast them open. Rushing in, the women take the servant and the king as hostages. Some raid the kitchen. They return to Paris with baguettes on their pikes. Back at Paris, 4 heralding horses, hitched to the king's coach, proudly prance. They neigh, and their hoofs click-clack on the cobblestones. Slack-jawed, Frankie's gaze beholds stairs leading up to a scaffold. On it, towering to the sky, a malicious guillotine's frame cradles a blade gleaming in the sunlight. Thirsty for his next dry sip of sherry wine, an etched black widow spider embraces the razor. Like an angry bird after an emerald portly pig, Marie is among the angry peasants who have gathered at the staircase's base. In the air hangs an aroma of rotting flesh fused with fresh crimson blood from the morning's kill. The stench's source is the fallen, two-headed, thorny, soul-stealing beast from the botanical. Its gnarly, poisonous fangs snap no more. The aristocratic she-beasts have made their final court appearance. Staked, their cold, stone-faced heads greet the peasants. As in life, their heartless heads slothfully sit atop 2 pikes, looking down on the peasants one last time. Drip, drip. The bitter burgundy blood drips down onto the cinnamon soil. Eagerly blushed with blood, the ground greedily sups it up. Hungrily, peasants dash up to the pikes and dab their white as snow rags into the scarlet of the unspoiled summer strawberry harvest pools of blood. Take a souvenir of this momentous day. Upon the king's entrance, the soft drum roll thunders. In the shadows, Tyrone, the king, and Pierrette walk the crimson carpet to the scaffold. Panerotti paint the king's last moments. Elbowing for the other to get out of the way, they yell red carpet style, "Wally! Wally!" Frankie and the veteran watch as Pete, Tyrone, and Pierrette escort the king to the steps. When Pete's spear passes Marie, she senses warmth as he brushes her softly on the cheek. Pete leads the graceful king up the steps. Tyrone and Pierrette follow them. At the top, Pete watches Pierrette take a pouch from the king's pocket. She hands the severance pay to Tyrone. When the king mounts the scaffold, the roll drums stop and he begins to speak. The drums start again, drowning out the king's final words. The peasants tie the king down. As Tyrone pulls the rope, a black curtain comes down on the regime. A monarch butterfly takes to flight. Pete returns Frankie back to his own time. He asks Frank what did he take from the French Revolution. He tells Pete he learned faith, innocence, respect, and empathy. Looking for Frankie, Annette tells Miss Talleyrand that she found him. Frankie picks up his gum wrapper that he dropped earlier from the ground and uses it to take his gum off the plaque. He reads Pete Revelon. He makes the revelation that this is his mother's maiden name. Pete smiles knowingly. Hear ye, from the heavens, Gabriel blows his horn, calling Pete home. My gentle good fellows, the firebrand departs with mellow heart and maidens fair. See now how the orange 4 o'clock, embracing the warm afternoon light, opens. Pete returns once more to his place beside the fire, and all is still once more. The amber light, once cold, burns bright. If these folks have you offended, pardon, and 'twill soon be mended. Once upon a midwinter's nap, I leave you with these words from my country cousin Puck. And as I am an honest pan, now to 'scape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the pan a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Frankie shall restore amends. Na Marie, may the leaves of your life tree never turn